Congratulations.
Reka tubasuhuze tubifuriza ibihe byiza mwebwe muri kumwe na Radio Salus. Aya masaha twiza neza ko mumeze neza cyane. Turi ku isaha ya saa 7 renze iminota 50 hano muri studio ya Radio Salus. Abakunzi bacu abari mu bice bigiye bitandukanye mwese twizeye neza ko amasaha nkaya mumeze neza. Tuje kubana namwe muri gahunda nziza cyane. Aline, reka mbanze ngusuze uriho neza.
Mwiriwe neza Christophe.
Umeze neza?
Meze neza cyane nta kibazo kandi nizere ko n'abakunzi ba Radio Salus bameze neza aho baherereye mu bice bigiye bitandukanye, aho baba bahisemo kwibanira na Radio Salus ku mirongo yumvikaniraho ya FM 97 ndetse n'101 n'ibice 9. Hanyuma hari n'aba bahisemo kutwumva banyuze kuri internet kuri www.salusi.ur.aca akadomorwa. Abo nabo ntago nabura kubabwira ngo nizere ko igicamusi kirimo kigenda kiyimera neza mukomeza kwibanira natwe. Hanyuma Kristo, uyu munsi ntago usanzwe, ngira ngo amasaha ngaya nta nubwo abakunzi ba Radio Salus wenda bari batumenyereye. Hari indi timu yabaga ihari, hari ikindi cyabaga gihari, ariko bibaza impamvu noneho tuje. Hari gahunda iri special cyangwa se iri speciale.
Ya, twebwe tuje mu birori, ni birori ngira ngo nkuko mwagiye mubimenyeshwa kaminuza y'u Rwanda kuri uyu munsi mu mwanya muto uri buze iraha impamya bumenyi abanyeshuri bagera kuri 333 bari baracikanywe. Ngira ngo hari hacimo igihe gito nanone itanze impamya bumenyi ku banyeshuri barenga 8,000, ariko bitewe n'ibibazo bya COVID-19 n'ibindi hari abari baracikanywe. Mu kanya gato ya rero haraba uwo muhango wo gushyikiriza wo guha impamya bumenyi abo banyeshuri bandi ari.
Yes, niko biza kugenda, niko biri buze kugenda. Ni nayo mpamvu turi hano kugira ngo tuze kugenda tubafasha kumenya uko iki gikorwa kimeze ndetse nuko kirimo kigenda. Hanyuma muraba mumeze nkaho murimo mubikurikirana nk'ibiri kuba.
Ya, no muhango ugiye kubera kuri Grand Auditorium hariya muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda ishami rya Huye. Aho bari abanyeshuri bagera kuri 333 bari baracikanywe. Hari abacikanywe kubera ibibazo by'amafaranga ndetse n'ibindi bibazo byagiye bituruka kuri COVID-19, ariko kaminuza y'u Rwanda yabatekerejeho iravuga iti nabo reka tuzabakorera umunsi mukuru tubahe impamya bumenyi zabo.
Ikintu cyiza cyane rero kuko buriya nyine iyo wacikanwe ukagira amahirwe umuntu akakuzirikana kumva koko icyagucitse gishobora kugaruka, hanyuma nawe ukagira ibyishimo cyangwa se yaeta abandi bari barimo nawe ukayijyamo, biba ari ibintu byiza cyane. Ntago ari benshi batekereza kuba baguha second chance cyangwa se amahirwe ya kabiri. Aba graduate inzu uyu munsi rero ndumva biba ari ibyishimo kuri bo cyane ko ari amahirwe bahawe batatekerezaga.
Hanyuma rero Aline, twari tumaze kubibabwira ko kaminuza y'u Rwanda igiye gutanga impamya bumenyi ku banyeshuri bari baracikanywe. Ngira ngo umuhango wo gutanga impamya bumenyi ku bandi banyeshuri barangije kaminuza muri uno mwaka uherutse kuba ku itariki 27 z'ukwezi kwa 8 k'uyu mwaka nyine. Ariko nko twabikomojeho hari abari baracikanywe bagera kuri 333 mu gihe uyu mwaka mu kwezi kwa 8 hari hatanzwe impamya bumenyi ku banyeshuri bagera ku 8,908.
Nibyo koko Christophe, urumva niba hari hatanzwe impamya bumenyi ku banyeshuri bagera ku 1,000 bingana gutyo, hakaba hari n'abari bacikanwe 333. ni ukuvuga ko uyu mwaka abanyeshuri ba kaminuza y'u Rwanda bagombaga gufata impamya bumenyi ari 9,241, ari nayo mpamvu uyu munsi uwo mubare koko 9,241 bagiye guhita buzura kubera ko n'abari bacikanywe ubu ngubu bahawe amahirwe bakaba bagiye guhabwa izo mpamya bumenyi.
Yego, hanyuma butuvugana hari bagenzi bacu bari hariya muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda ishami rya Huye nyine hariya kuri Grand Auditorium agiye kubera uno muhango. Hari bagenzi bacu barimo Renzaho Ferdinand, Clementine Uwiringiyimana,
hariyo Jean Claude Twagirimana
na Gloria
Tuyishime,
ndetse na equipe technique. Abo bagiye kubidufashamo neza cyane kugira ngo umuhango wose tuwukurikire. Hanyuma n'ibindi byinshi cyane natwe turahari hano muri studio live, turaza kugenda tubasangiza n'andi makuru menshi agiye atandukanye. Ngira ngo mu mwanya mutoya basaga binjiye mu mutambagiro, reka wenda twumva umwuka uriyo, ubundi wenda ibindi turagenda tubibasangiza mu mwanya mutoya ribuze. Hanyuma rero Aline, mu gihe dutegereje gahunda igiye gukurikiraho hariya,
dutegereje kumenya ikiri kubera kuri tere cyangwa se kuri field muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda ishami rya Huye, turagenda tunaganira tureba byinshi bigiye bitandukanye, tuvuga ku mateka ndetse n'impamvu y'uyu munsi nyirizina. Aburiya Christophe, nubwo twabwiye ngo n'abantu 333 tukanababwiye ngo birimo birabera muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda ishami rya Huye, twabibutsa ko ntabwo biri kubera muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda ishami rya Huye kubera ko ari abaho gusa, ahubwo ni mu mashami atandukanye ya kaminuza y'u Rwanda n'abanyeshuri bo mu mashami atandukanye ya kaminuza y'u Rwanda. Ni amashami agera kuri 6. Ndumva gahunda ishobora kuba itangiye, reka twumve gahunda iriyo.
And the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and Research of the University of Rwanda. Before we start our ceremony this afternoon, our second graduation ceremony for the year 2021 of the University of Rwanda, we'd like everyone to rise for the singing of the national anthem by our cultural troupe. Rwanda nziza gihugu cyacu, wuje imisozi ibiyaga n'ibirunga, ngo byiduhetse gahoranisha, reka tukurate tukuvuga ibigwi, wowe utuhundiye hamwe twese abanyarwanda, nuko watubyaye berwa sugira singizwe iteka, komeza imihigo Rwanda dukunda, duhagurukire kukwitangira, amahoro asabe mu bagutuye, wishyire wizane muri byose, urangwe n'ishyaka utera imbere, uhamye umubano n'amahanga yose, maze ijabo ryawe riguhe ijambo. Thank you so much for that wonderful rendition of our national anthem. Please be seated. My pleasure to call on the Chancellor of the University of Rwanda to open this congregation, the congregation again for the second graduation ceremony of 2021 of the university. I call on Madam Chancellor to open the congregation. Madam Chancellor.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I hereby declare this congregation of the second graduation ceremony of the University of Rwanda open.
Next item on our agenda is welcome speech and welcome remarks by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Alexander Nyambabaje. It's my pleasure to invite our Vice Chancellor to give us our opening remarks.
Thank you, Professor Nosa. Honorable Dr. Valentino Maria, Minister of Education of the Republic of Rwanda, and guest of honor, Madame Patricia Campbell, Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, Professor Paul Davenport, Chairperson of the Board of Governors of the University of Rwanda, Excellencies, Ambassadors and representatives of the Diplomatic Corps following this ceremony online, members of the University of Rwanda Board of Governors, colleagues and friends, Vice Chancellors, distinguished invited guests, all protocols observed, dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the management and the staff of the University of Rwanda, and on my own behalf, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the second 2021 University of Rwanda's graduation in Huye campus. Recently, on August 27, 2021, almost 9,000 students completed their studies at University of Rwanda, and they were awarded degrees and diplomas in sciences, technology, engineering and mathematics, in medicine and health sciences, in arts and social sciences, in business and economics, in agriculture and veterinary medicine, and in education. However, for understandable reasons, mainly due to COVID-19 pandemic, a number of students, in particular postgraduate ones, couldn't meet the deadline of August 27, 2021. Instead of delaying further the graduation ceremony for all eligible students, the management of the University of Rwanda opted for organizing a second graduation ceremony in spite of the time and cost implications. In this beautiful city of Huye, where the University of Rwanda was born 57 years ago, we are celebrating the completion of studies by 333 students, including 3 PhD holders and 185 master's degrees in different areas of specialization. Can I, at this point, invite all of you to join me and congratulate students who are graduating today. Dear students, in a few minutes you will join the family of University of Rwanda alumni, members of the fraternity of degrees and diplomas holders. Please always remember that having had this opportunity to learn more, to get more support from the society and your families, implies that expectations are quite high, and all of us, we expect all of you to achieve more than ordinary citizen. Do not wait for opportunities to come to you. In the contrary, be mindful that most of the time, opportunities are hidden in the bottom of an ocean of challenges. Never shy away from challenges. Please learn how to dive and sharpen your surviving skills. This will be achieved if you take time to collect information, both quantitative and qualitative, if you take time to digest them and analyze information. You will need to take time to share your findings with friends and relatives you trust and keep seeking for advice. You will have to take time to listen to advice, appreciate its relevance, and identify potential partners. please make sure that you take time to plan for action and arm yourself with patience and energy for successful realization of your dreams. With all of it, the last thing to do would be to be prepared to learn from possible failures and, more importantly, be prepared to restart again. A new school is awaiting for you, the school of real life, where you will no more be assessed using written, oral, or lab tests. Instead, you will be judged on your deliverables in terms of outputs, productivity, positive social engagement, and empathy. Many people will tell you that life outside university is not easy, and they are right. But always remember that you've been equipped with knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will help you in this journey. The society expects to see you as leaders in your respective capacities, leaders who preach by example, leaders ready to seed harmony and unity in your respective communities, leaders who will inspire hope and better future to our people, leaders who emulate positive human values, and leaders who support your families, your relatives, and your neighbors. In short, we wish to see you as visionary, selfless, and courageous leaders. Guest of honor, Madam Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is also the best occasion to recognize the important role played by University Rwanda's academic staff. This year only, University of Rwanda graduated more than 9,000 students, attracted research funding and education grants for more than $200 million American dollars, and contributed to knowledge generation while publishing more than 274 peer-reviewed articles. Academic staff and University of Rwanda leadership and management were aware that what has been achieved may not be enough. We strongly believe that we can achieve more while enhancing the quality of teaching and learning, quality of research and innovation. We will continue to work closely with the government of Rwanda, the parents, national and international partners, aiming to improve the knowledge and soft skills of candidates who seek education from University of Rwanda. We will also provide a conducive learning environment to University of Rwanda students, taking into consideration access and use of information and communication technologies. Lastly, we will do our best to empower and facilitate University of Rwanda academic staff in order to enable them deliver to the expectations of the students, the industry, and the country. University of Rwanda is committed to continue to play its role and contribute to the socio-economic transformation of Rwanda, of the East African community, and beyond. The National Strategy for Rwanda's Transformation, the Rwanda Vision 2050, the African Vision 2063, and the World Sustainable Development Goals will continue to inform University of Rwanda strategic interventions. Honorable Minister and Guest of Honor, Chancellor of University of Rwanda, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, allow me to share a few words with parents, children, relatives, and friends of graduates who may not be conversant with the official working language of University of Rwanda. Babyeyi, bana, bavandimwe, nshuti z'abanyeshuri bagiye guhabwa impamyabumenyi n'impamyabushobozi uyu munsi, batumirwa bahire muri hano uyu munsi, mwaje kwifatanya n'ubuyobozi bwa kaminuza gusoza ikivi cyo kurerera u Rwanda, akarere ka Afurika y'Iburasirazuba na Afurika muri rusange, mwongeye kwirirwa. Turashimira kuba mwigomwe igihe cyanyu mugasubika indi mirimo myinshi mwari mufite kugira ngo muze gushyigikira abavandimwe barangije ibyiciro bitandukanye by'amashuri makuru muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda. Abamubona imbere yanyu no ku mashusho binyuze mu ikoranabuhanga bushije gitore ikivi batangiye. Abenshi bakaba babikoze mu gihe cyari giteganyijwe n'ubwo icyorezo cya COVID-19 cyari cyadukomye mu nkokora. Nagira ngo mbasabe mumfashe twongere tubashimire. Icyo nababwiye rero mu magambo avunaguye igihe navugaga ururimi rundi rw'icyongereza nuko abarangije amashuri makuru hano muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda bagiye gutangira irindi shuri ry'ubuzima busanzwe. Ntabwo bazongera kubazwa ibyo bize mu nyandiko, mu magambo cyangwa muri laboratoire, ahubwo bazajya bashimirwa ibyo bagezeho, ibikorwa bikivugira, bazabazwa uko babana n'abandi banyarwanda n'ukuntu batanga ubufasha n'ibisubizo byiza ku bantu bazaza babagana mu kazi kabo ka buri munsi. Ibyo kugira ngo bazabigereho bazakenera kumenya ko amahirwe mu buzima akenshi usanga yihishe mu ndiba y'inyanja y'ibigeragezo. Ibyo bikazabasaba ko barenga ubwoba bw'ibigeragezo, bakiga kwibira muri iyo nyanja kugira ngo amahirwe ahishe munsi bayagereho. Amasomo n'uburere babonye muri kaminuza y'u Rwanda byarabateguye bihagije, ariko buri wese ku giti cye agomba guhora yiyibutsa ko akeneye gufata igihe agatara amakuru, agasoma, agatekereza, agasesengura amakuru amugezeho. Agomba gufata igihe agashaka inshuti yizeye, ababyeyi n'abavandimwe, akabagisha inama kandi akabatega amatwi. Agafata igihe agashungura inama yagiriwe, agakora gahunda y'ibikorwa, akanashaka abo bazafatanya, dore ko nta mugore umwe cyangwa se nta mugabo umwe. Gufata igihe agashyira mu bikorwa icyo yemeje gukora n'imbaraga ze zose, ariko agahora yiteguye ko ashobora kutagera ku ndoto ze buri gihe, ahubwo akamenya gukuramo amasomo n'imbaraga byazamufasha mu gutegura undi mushinga mu buryo bunoze kurushaho. Natwe nk'umuryango wa kaminuza y'u Rwanda dufatanije namwe babyeyi, bana bagiye kubona impamyabushobozi, bavandimwe babo, twabizeza ko tuzakomeza kubaba hafi, tukabatera ingabo mu bitugu igihe cyose bikenewe. Madam Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, Chairperson of the Board of Governors, Excellence Ambassadors and representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, Madam Governor of the Southern Province, attending online, Vice Chancellors and representatives of higher learning institutions here present, and colleagues attending online, distinguished guests, all protocols observed, colleagues, members of academic and administrative staff, dear graduates and your families and friends, students of University of Rwanda, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my remarks by expressing, on behalf of the entire University of Rwanda's community, our sincere gratitude to the government of Rwanda, the citizens of Rwanda, the development partners and partner institutions for their invaluable support that enable University of Rwanda effectively deliver on its mandate. Honorable Minister of Education and guests of honor, I would like to end my remarks here And thank you for your availability, and thank all guests here for dedicating your time to be part of this event. Murakoze cyane, tubifurije amahoro y'Imana.
Thank you so much, Vice Chancellor. Honorable guest of honor, Minister for Education, Madam Chancellor, the Chair of our Board of Governors, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I stand on established and existing protocol to call on our Honorable Chancellor, Madam Chancellor, to give us her message to our university community and particularly to our graduates today. So I call on Madam Chancellor to give us her message for today.
Thank you. I am deeply honored to be with you today and to welcome, in particular, students who will soon be our graduates, and all of your supporters, your teachers, your family, and friends, to the University of Rwanda second 2021 graduation. I wish I were with you in person for this special and important event. However, I'm glad I can join you virtually, and that our university and each of you are resilient and can celebrate your achievement, which bring you here today to graduate. I've used the word resilient with the deliberate intent of saying that this is what was required to reach graduation. You have proven you can persevere and succeed when faced with unpredicted challenge. Certainly when you began your studies, many of you wondered if you were up to the rigor of university-level studies. None of you or us predicted the disruption and challenge of a global pandemic. Could we predict that you and your university, your country, could adjust and continue to this day? Well, perhaps we could, but now we know you can. Change happens, that's a given. The open question is what we do in response. I know that each of you has the capacity to adjust and to work with new challenges. I also believe that you have learned to not be afraid of change. You know you can handle it, and at times you may be the ones to lead and make change. Back to the word resilience. I used it earlier to speak about what was needed and demonstrated to overcome the impact of COVID and reach graduation today. It is also a word that is important as we think of the future of all humanity and the natural world. The future is uncertain, but we know that you, the graduates of 2021, will be challenged to save our environments and to make the world a better place. As a woman administrative leader in higher education, I have been especially honored to have been named by your government leaders, to be your chancellor. I'd certainly say life holds many opportunities and sometimes unimaginable. Use the resilience you have learned. Make the most of your opportunities. Oh, I apologize. Was I muted that whole time?
Yes, Madam Chancellor, you were you were fully unmuted. I think we had.
I don't know how that happened. Oh dear.
Yeah, we had.
Shall I do it, or do you want to move on?
I think we. Yeah, it was really the second half of your remarks that we missed. So if you don't mind doing the second half, the last half of your remarks, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Madam Chancellor.
Well, I want to talk about resilience. I will repeat that part if you've heard it already.
Okay.
Because I spoke about resilience as what was needed by our students to reach graduation today. But it's also a word that is important as we think of the future of all humanity and the natural world. The future is uncertain, but we know that you, the graduates of 2021, will be challenged to save our environments and to make our world a better place. As a woman administrative leader in higher education, I have been especially honored to have been named by your government leaders to be your chancellor. I'd certainly say life holds many opportunities and sometimes unimagined ones. Use the resilience you have learned to make the most of your opportunities. Some of you, maybe not all of you, will become great leaders, yet every one of you will have the opportunity to do a great job at doing good things, yes, for yourself, but for your country and indeed the world. Graduate today and use the resilience you have learned. Be confident knowing you can succeed in the face of unpredictable challenge and change. Congratulations, class of 2021. You deserve to be honored today for your academic achievement and your perseverance. So thank you, truly from the bottom of my heart. I am so proud and honored to be with you today, even if it's virtually. And I have the deepest respect and offer my congratulations and best wishes for your futures that I know will be good. Thank you. I hope you heard me that time.
Yes, completely, okay. Madam Chancellor, and thank you so much for that wonderful speech and message, especially to our graduating students today. My pleasure to move the process to the real core of the reasons that we're here today, and that is the award and conferment of degrees on our graduates who will soon become graduates. Under those conditions, I'm going to call on the Chancellor one more time to confer the degrees, and we're going to do it in a stepwise manner. We will start with the award of the doctorate degree, the Doctor of Philosophy degree, the PhD degree, and then we will continue with the award of a master's degree where we get the college principals involved, and then proceed to award the diplomas and the bachelor's degrees as we move along. Madam Chancellor, I, Professor Nosa Egibo, being the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and Research of this great university, have the honor to present to you Mr. Mutagoma Umuvaneza, who has satisfied the requirements of the Senate of the University of Rwanda for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Health Sciences. Madam Chancellor, let me tell you a few things about the wonderful work that this young graduate did during his Doctor of Philosophy program. The work was mainly focused on female sex workers in Rwanda. And I read from a very short abstract of the thesis. The thesis is entitled Sexually Transmitted Infections, Sexual Risk Behavior Trends, Physical and Sexual Violence Among Female Sex Workers in Rwanda. Female sex workers, or FSWs, are a vulnerable group for acquisition and transmission of a variety of sexually transmitted infections, the STIs, much more so than most of the other population groups in society. STIs, including human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, are common among female sex workers. Despite efforts made to fight STIs within this group, infections in the group is still a major public hazard and a public problem. This study was aimed at accomplishing multiple objectives. First was to estimate the prevalence of HIV, syphilis, hepatitis B virus, HBV, and hepatitis C virus among female sex workers in Rwanda, and then to measure changes in risky behavior over the last decade. Additionally, to assess factors associated with the sexual and physical violence against female sex workers in Rwanda. A cross-sectional study using programmatic data from the Rwanda National Behavior Surveillance Survey among female sex workers in 2006, 2010, and 2015 was conducted. Proportions and associations with outcome variables were performed. The findings showed a high prevalence of HIV and syphilis among female sex workers. HIV and syphilis co-infections together was common. However, HIV, HBV, and HIV, HCV co-infections were present but not as common as the HIV and syphilis co-infections. Furthermore, most aged or older female sex workers haven't had a genital sore in the last 12 months and haven't some human immunodeficiency problems had a positive association with HIV and syphilis co-infection. The study also showed that sexual and physical syphilis co-infections was frequently reported by a number of female sex workers. Clients of female sex workers were most reported as the perpetrators of physical violence in sex work. Most aged female sex workers or older female sex workers having STIs were most sexually abused. Older female sex workers who are not regular customers of alcohol or other abusive drugs were found to have less prevalence of physical violence. Madam Chancellor, with the amount of work done and the excellence associated with this particular work by Mr. Vanessa, I respectfully ask that you confer upon Mr. Vanessa the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health. I thank you, Madam Chancellor.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, and knowing that you have satisfied the University of Rwanda requirements in the subject for which you were enrolled, trained, and examined, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health. Congratulations.
I'd like Mr. Mutagoma Vanessa to come forward to receive. Please come over here. And the Vice Chancellor, please. And the Principal for CMHS, please join us. Madam Chancellor, we are prepared to actually award and offer the degree certificate to our PhD graduates today. So, congratulations.